Final question for you. You've said that you want the deal with AJ to be done by the end of Monday.
Monday is the deadline.
Andy Ruiz names Anthony Joshua as his next opponent. He's top of the list. And let me counterpunch people. He's supposed to be. If you were Andy Ruiz, who would be on the top of that list? Anthony Joshua. Because you haven't fought in over a year. You've scored the jackpot with Anthony Joshua when he was undefeated, when he was this super British star. Okay. And for Andy, I think that's pretty much his last hoorah. You know what I mean? Because if he ever gets a fight with AJ, I don't think he'll ever fight again, just based on the history. I mean, because Andy, the money that he would get from that, it won't be that $1 million, which he's not accustomed to, which he's received. And I think because he's received that type of money, from the Al Heyman crew, I don't think that he coped well with that. And I think, getting that money he got from AJ, just spoiled him. I mean, when you get accustomed to certain things, you got a mindset to stay in that particular bracket. And I think that's Andy Ruiz, right? And because of that, though, Andy wants, that opportunity again. You know what I mean? Because, he can't shut up about it. But my counterpunch to Andy is, Andy, when are you going to fight someone worthy? I mean, a lot of people think you lost your last fight. You got a gift draw, to be fair. You broke your hand, man. But at the same time, who else will you fight? Old Luis Ortiz is not going to cut it, because everyone knew that was a cherry pick because you abducted him 2 years before that, or 3, right? Before you even fought him. But you found out he was vulnerable, and that's the only reason you took the fight. So the question to Andy is, when is Andy going to get in there with a Moses Atoma, a Daniel Dubois? You know what I mean? An Adelaide. Can we get an Andy Ruiz versus David Adelaide? Can we get someone that knows how to fight, someone that's young, someone that gives Andy problems? Okay? How about one of those Pero brothers? What about some of them? Somebody that can box and move, because I honestly don't think, with the inactivity that Andy is on, I don't think that he should just jump in there with an Anthony Joshua fight, because honestly, he hasn't deserved it. You got a guy like Andy, you fight Jarrell Miller, and Jarrell Miller's a good opponent, but at the same time, you're fighting someone also inactive, so it really doesn't prove anything. Get in here with one of these live dogs and show us that and you mean business about your career. Stop trying to go for just go for a one-hit wonder, because that's what Andy's turning into. And I think what he does is, Andy calls out these big names, the Tyson Furies, the Anthony Joshuas, the Alexander Usyks. And meanwhile, he's doing all of this reaching, and he's not trying to get the realistic fights in front of him. He's not trying to do that. And then because he's not trying to do that, he's not getting anything, because he's not going to get those big fights until he shows someone something. And he didn't show us much in his last fight. He can take a punch. Well, we all know that. But what else? Nothing. He just showed us, well, hey, inactivity is first cousins to Father Time. And maybe Father Time may be coming, maybe not. But we don't know, because Andy hasn't fought enough. So we don't know how Andy is. We just see pictures of him throwing beautiful combinations, hard-thudding explosive shots. I love him. You know what I mean? I do videos of him, but I'm getting tired of doing videos of Andy Ruiz on the treadmill. I'm just getting sick of that. So I want to see Andy in action again. You know what I mean? Because he hasn't done much at all. Can we get a Joseph Parker reign from Andy Ruiz? Can we get that from him? That's what I want to see from Andy. So before he calls out Anthony Joshua, he's top on the list. Understand, a list is other than one person. You know what I mean? You can't have just one person on the list. You have to put someone else on that list and show us what you're about. But you guys tell me what you think of Andy Ruiz targeting Anthony Joshua for his next fight. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.